Forums. This is Kevin Knox with Anglers Envy Custom Rods, AE on the board. I hope you're all doing well today. Wanted to put up a video. What we're going to do here on this next build that I'm just getting ready to start is a rod for actually one of our members on the board, and I'll let him come forth and talk about the use of this rod. This is a snapper rod. It's going to be 102 inches from tip to butt, and it's going to be a Miami Dolphins theme. So I'm going to be doing this one upright in the Miami Dolphins colors, which is kind of tough for me being a Ravens fan in Baltimore, but at least I know they're worse than the Ravens were, so that's a good thing. But anyway, what we're going to do now, I want to take a minute, or actually a couple minutes, and talk to you a little bit about the forum and what I'd like to do on the forum and see have develop on the forum in the future. I'm not the be-all end-all of this, but I just see some things that can be different and changed because there's so many rod building forums out there. This is something that's going to be a little bit different, I hope. But what we're going to do is we're going to start from the very beginning. Everybody can get on and post up all their great thread art and all that stuff, and that's fantastic. Everybody has their areas of expertise. Mine is with mother of pearl inlays on rods. But people, they're great guys out there who do marbling, great guys out there who do decorative butt wraps. I don't have the patience or the time or the market for decorative butt wraps and marbling. So, and that's fine. But everybody out there has their little niche that we're all in as people in the commercial side of the business. So what we're going to do here a little bit, switching gears, we're going to get back and we're going to just start at the very basics. I know that not everybody on this board is a seasoned veteran. To give you all a little bit of background on me, I've been in the business for almost 30 years. I started in the basement of my house in Baltimore when I was 14 years old, and got hooked on it through some guys that were building rods down in the Outer Banks. And I never really gave it up, and I came home and started to learn and kept progressing with it. And this, keep in mind, this was back before the internet. So I would have to order a book and I'd wait a week or two and it would show up, and I'd read the whole book, and that was all I had to go by. So a lot of the things that I've learned are by trial and error. And I strongly recommend that if you're going to build rods and you want to get into this and you want to expand, then certainly try. Go ahead and try something. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But the trial and error part of this is what really teaches you the best how to build rods and how to broaden your horizons. So what we're going to do is start at the very beginning. We're going to talk about blanks. Blank actions, how they differ, what their applications are, a little bit of geography on each, and we're going to go from there. The blank actions are broken down into fast, slow, or moderate. And all it does is categorize a blank by the tip flex. So you can see here that with this blank, we've got a very heavy predominant tip flex, shuts off fast, and goes down into a nice backbone. This is a fast action blank. This is a Calstar Offshore Series blank. It is a fast action blank, as I said, West Coast style of fishing. Allows you to put a lot of action into the blank for working lures and sensitivity and feeling the fish. Where you're going to run into some problems in some applications out here on the East Coast is if you try to put rollers on this rod. I do put rollers on it. You can see it's got a roller tip top on it. However, I find that most of the roller guides are not flexible enough to work with these fast action blanks. And again, the Calstar is one of the fastest. The Seeker's a little bit faster. If you can believe it or not, it'll actually stay straight up into here, and just the little tip action is where tip portion is where you're getting your action. But for the most part, I mean, Calstar is phenomenal quality blanks, and they've really mastered what they do, and more big fish have been landed on Calstar than any other blank. Next, we're going to talk about a moderate action blank. And a moderate action blank is going to have a little bit more flex, a little bit more backbone, and you can see with this blank, it bends down into the middle portion of the blank. What that does is it gives you the best of both worlds in my mind. Most of the blanks that I use for my stand-up tuna rods or moderate fast action blanks. They're middle of the road. They give you a nice tip flex when you need it, but they also give you the backbone when you really need to work those fish and hoss them up. As far as a slow action blank goes, the slowest of the actions is the IGFA blank. The IGFA is pretty much a parabolic bend all the way down from the tip to the butt. It bends in an arc. You have a constant steady pull. These are great for trolling rods, for boat rods, chair rods, anything of the such. But your IGFA blanks are definitely the way to go for the trolling when you're constantly going to be trolling. And again, they just have a bend that goes all the way down through the handle, but at a constant rate. So you have a parabola shape, so to speak. The rod we're going to talk to you about today is, this is a Calstar GF900H. It is 9 feet long, it's a beast, and it's got a real funky tip. It's a very fast action blank. You can see that it really shuts off quickly. It goes from being a stout blank down to thinner than a straw in about a foot. And the rest of it is just pure backbone. It's lifting. The customer already has one of these rods, and what he found through his experiences with the last one was that if we cut the rod back to 102 inches, so if we take off about 4 or 5 inches off the top, it's going to bring us down to the sensitivity and feel that he wants. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this blank, we're going to chop it down to 102, and then I'm going to document and go through in successive videos and go through the build a little bit just to show you guys what I do. I can get online and post up and post pictures of the completed products, but some people out there want to actually see what I do. So, so stay tuned, and we're going to go through this on a step-by-step basis, and hopefully you guys will learn something. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them up. Thanks again, and talk to you soon. Okay, I'm back. Before I go, I thought of some stuff that I wanted to really bring out in this video and talk about that I hadn't gotten to yet. How we modify an action of a blank really depends upon the customer's wants and desires. If he wants a more of a flexible tip rod, we'll leave the tip as it is and we'll cut the butt. If you want to stiffen up a rod and change the action from being more flexible to a little bit stiffer, what we would do is bring that back from the tip. And that's what we're going to do here, as I mentioned earlier in this build. The tip is just way too fast for him and his desires. It sits there and flops around all day long, and it's just a little too flexible for him. So we're going to cut back that tip and stiffen it up. So what we've done here is we've taken the rod with a fast tip like this, and I'm going to go downstairs into the cutting room and cut this, and then we'll come back and compare the bends and see how they look after they've been modified, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So stay tuned, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Went down to the cutting room and took off about 5 inches of blank, 6 inches of blank. And what this is really going to do is, you can see now that the blank has more of a parabolic bend at the tip. It's still a fast action blank. You're not going to change the overall action, but it takes a lot of that tip play out. So what we've done in essence is made this a stiffer blank, and one that's going to be more useful for the customer. So again, this build is going to be a Miami Dolphins themed build. It's going to have I want to say it's an 18-inch rear grip, so it's going to be a long rear grip. He doesn't use a fighting belt, so we're going to be using a rubber gimbal so that it won't tear into his gut. The reel seat is a nice high-quality aluminum reel seat that will fit onto the blank perfectly and go with the motif very nice. It's got a nice woven graphite tubing inside there, and it's real lightweight. It's just an overall fantastic reel seat. The foregrip is my diamond cut CNC grooved EVA foregrips, and this will be 11 inches, so I'm going to cut that down to size. Then for the guide wraps, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting white thread over the white blank with a nice aquamarine colored mother of pearl with orange and black trim bands at each end. And then there's some surprises that I also have for the rod also that the customer doesn't know about, that will fit into the theme very nicely. So we'll be going through that step by step in the future videos. And if anybody has any questions about the actions or anything that I discussed, please feel free to put them up. Let's get some conversation going on this board. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.